Brendan wrote in and said, "Hey, Zach, I know it's a common excuse, but I'm a Lions fan, and I really believe the refs had an impact on the outcome of the game on Monday Night Football against the Packers. I'm sure you watched the game. While the Lions could have and should have done more, like capitalizing on red zone trips with touchdowns instead of field goals, I believe the Lions played well enough to beat the Packers. Did the refs screw the Lions in the end? What are your thoughts on the referees lately? I know they're humans, but it's getting bad. Thanks, and congratulations on your recent success." Brendan, I love this question, and everybody in the world, I get so many comments and messages, and frankly, ask Zach questions about the refs. Like, Zach, when are you going to talk about the refs? Fine, I'll do it. I'm not sure what people want me to say about the referees. It's do they want me to compile a giant list of examples when the refs have screwed up in a game? I mean, do they want me to just say they're bad? Because they are bad. It has been bad. I acknowledge. It's obvious. But also, we've been paying attention way more than normal to the refs. When have we ever spent this much time in a season dedicated to the refs? And when have we spent ever before this much time in an off season dedicated to the refs? The way the year ended last year with the Saints and the Rams, the second to last game of the year, had a gigantic controversial call. A missed pass interference call. What should have been pass interference absolutely was missed. And then for like 8 months, we talked about it. And so more than ever before, there's a focus on the refs. And then the NFL made a change. After that game, the Saints game where the missed pass interference call happened, people freaked out. The NFL is terrible. This should not be allowed to happen. So the NFL responded. They made a change. They said, okay, we'll give you what you want. And now people are kind of getting what they deserve. They got to change to the rule. You can now challenge that call. Refs are imperfect. Refs are human beings. So we now have created a system in the NFL where you can challenge judgment calls. We literally highlight in slow motion. On national television, we highlight the moments where refs screw up. We highlight bad calls because we can challenge them. And of course, that makes referees look bad. Like, hello, I mean, whenever you highlight someone's big mistake on national TV in slow motion, it looks really bad. If you highlighted every mistake I ever made on this show where I misspeak or I forget a name or I miss an edit, like whatever you want, right? If you highlighted a video of all those and played them in slow motion on national TV, I'd look like an idiot. I would, because I say a lot of dumb stuff. I make mistakes. The difference is now every mistake is magnified on a giant screen. So of course, the refs look bad. Also, the rule was created to prevent heinous, horrible mistakes from being made. The rule was created to protect teams like the Saints from losing that way. And I'm seeing, though, a lot of coaches are throwing refs on like contentious, controversial calls that are like, that's not obvious. That's really hard to tell. It's not clear whether that's pass interference or not. So, of course, they're going to screw that one up because the rule isn't created for a really close, intense pass interference. It's created to solve the problem of when there's a really horrible missed call, we can fix that. And I think we're still figuring out, coaches are still figuring out when it's okay to challenge. And like, remember when challenges were first brought into the NFL? When challenges at all, when replay challenges with red flags were first thrown into the game, everybody hated it. And coaches didn't understand how to use it. They couldn't figure it out. They wasted a lot of people wasted flags early on. I saw a comment on YouTube that said, want to lose a challenge and a timeout? Challenge a pass interference call. Well, you could have said the same thing years ago when challenges were brought into the game at all. No one really knew how to use them because it's a new system. And we're all figuring out this new thing, this new reality with challengeable pass interference calls. Of course it's bad. Nobody knows what they're doing yet. We got to acclimate to the situation. In a couple more weeks, it'll slow down and coaches will learn, hey, that one's really close. It's not obvious. Let's not throw a challenge because it's hard to tell. Only throw a challenge flag if it's blatant and obvious. And look, yes, refs are screwing up at the end of games, making bad calls that hurt teams' ability to win. Yes, refs are screwing up big time. However, they've been doing that for years. And people have been complaining about refs for years. This is not a new phenomenon. People complaining about referees and referees making bad calls and screwing up. This cycle happens all the time. Again, the difference is now we're highlighting it. Here's the truth, though. I lost a game on national TV in high school. It was embarrassing. It was bad. There was a controversial call. Look up River Skyview blocked kick. We were on Come On Man. We were on The World's Worst. We were on Not Top 10 for 3 months. We beat the butt fumble. It was horrifying. And we blocked their field goal. They picked it up and ran for a touchdown. And one referee blew the whistle. Another ref let the play go on. So they won the game. We lost. And in the locker room after the game, we're all horrified and confused and frustrated and mad because we lost on a really bad call, what we felt was like a really bad call by the refs. Whether it's true or not, the feeling in the locker room was we got hosed by the refs. I don't actually, looking back on that situation, I don't think they were wrong. I think we were wrong. I think the refs did the right thing. But in that locker room, we felt that way. Here's the message our coach told us when we felt screwed over by the refs. He said, let's be honest here. If you win that game by 2 touchdowns, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't allow referees to control a game. Yes, refs screw up. But I hate when people lean on referees as excuses. I do. Because I've been on the side of a loss that felt unfair, like the refs screwed us over. National TV, not top 10. Come on, man. It was my first varsity start. I had a touchdown with 30 seconds left. I was like, dude, I'm a god. My first touchdown pass, my first varsity start, I had a come from behind victory in the fourth quarter where I drove our team down the field, and that got robbed from me. I was furious. But I also missed a lot of opportunities. A throw on 3rd down. I think I had a fumble. I had moments where I screwed up. You can always find a way to blame the refs, but you also got to look inward and say, hey, players can have a better day too. Throws on 3rd down. Fewer mental mistakes. Do not let the referees have control of a game. The minute you let the refs have control at the end of a game, then it's on you. That's my take on this whole referee thing. It's going to smooth out. We're going to figure it out. Coaches are going to figure out when there's a chance that it was winnable. Like they're going to throw the flag when it's really a winnable scenario. And they're still figuring out what a winnable scenario looks like in a pass interference challengeable situation. And refs are going to get better. It's just a new thing. And whenever you make a change, people hate it. People hate change, period. And changes require time. You got to figure it out and really learn, okay, this works better here. This works better here. So everyone just relax. Have some patience. I know that people are furious about the refs. We're paying way more attention than ever before. And it's going to, I think honestly, over time, the problem's going to solve itself. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And I want to be very clear and open with the audience. My YouTube channel is monetized. What that means is that some of my videos make ad revenue. It's fewer than you think. A lot of them get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations from people on Patreon and PayPal. PayPal.me/Zach Schaumler. Patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. And because I'm making ad revenue, it felt kind of weird just receiving donations. I wanted to give something back for the donations. And so people who support me on Patreon can give me $1 a month, and that allows them access to a pool where they can ask questions. If you send me questions through Patreon's DM service, you comment on one of my posts on Patreon. If you give $1 a month, you can submit questions. And with my eyeballs, I look at every single question submitted. Then at the end of my podcast, I pick the best top couple questions and read them on the show and answer them in a segment I call Ask Zach. Now that's for people who have money and want to support me that way. If you have no money to give, no problem. I totally understand. I grew up in a mobile home. I've been a broke college kid. I totally get it. But if you want to help in some capacity at the end, you can support the show by telling your friends about it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about this show. It would mean a lot to me. If you believe in my dream and you believe in this show, tell your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Guys, my name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so very much, and hope you have a great day.